Le renouveau du beat'em all est arrivé en 2001 sur PlayStation 2 et en 3D avec un Devil May Cry super stylé, poseur et totalement jouissif. Depuis, DmC a accueilli 3 suites, la dernière remontant à 2008 et une compilation HD réunissant les 3 premiers volets. Après bientôt 5 longues années d'attente, les fans et les amateurs de beat'em all en général vont enfin pouvoir jouer, non pas à Devil May Cry 5, mais à DmC Devil May Cry. On le sait, la mode est au reboot. Au cinéma comme dans le jeu vidéo, on casse la logique commerciale des suites en série pour donner un coup de jeune à une licence donnée en la reprenant de zéro. Parfois pour la remettre sur les rails, si celle-ci est en perdition, ou tout simplement pour la dépoussiérer. DmC Devil May Cry, présent sur le stand Capcom lors du dernier Tokyo Game Show, nous a été présenté par son producteur américain qui nous expose son concept de base.
It's a rebirth, so this is a separate story. It doesn't take place in the existing universe. Obviously, we use many elements of the world, but this is going back and telling Dante's origin story from the beginning. So it's kind of the story of how he finds his purpose in life, killing demons.
DmC Devil May Cry, contrairement au volet précédent, a été développé en Angleterre et supervisé à la fois par Capcom USA et Capcom Japon. Une production internationale donc, avec un objectif clair, séduire les joueurs occidentaux.
I think Capcom Japan approached Capcom USA about doing a version of DmC, Devil May Cry, that was Western oriented. So I think the thinking was, let's go to a new developer. And Ninja Theory, we sort of organically came up with the idea of a reboot because it would give us the largest amount of space to make our own game and not be bound in by the existing world so much. But obviously we could use as much of that as we wanted to. So it seemed like the proper way to balance having a lot of recognizably elements of DmC, but also being able to do our own thing without feeling constrained.
Ninja Theory est un studio anglais situé à Cambridge ayant déjà travaillé avec 2 éditeurs japonais, Sony sur Heavenly Sword et Namco Bandai sur Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Ces 2 titres proposant une dimension combat développée, on comprend mieux le choix de Capcom.
But we approached Ninja Theory largely because some people in our office had a pre-existing relationship with them and had known that they could do good work, but the proof was looking at the games they'd done. So if you look at Heavenly Sword and Enslaved, they did some things very well that were very important for a DmC game, and they showed aptitude in the areas where we thought with our help they could get to where we needed a DmC game to be. So they do amazing narrative, they do great cutscene work, they have some very impressive technology for facial animation so that they can get some very cinematic performances out of characters. All of that's important for DmC, and then in the area of combat they showed enough skill that we thought by bringing in just a few creatives from Capcom Japan to help them, that they could get up to the level required for a Devil May Cry game.
Le scénario, parlons-en. Ninja Theory a en effet déjà montré sa capacité à mettre en scène une histoire ambitieuse avec Enslaved, un projet pour lequel il s'était offert la participation de l'acteur Andy Serkis, Monsieur Gollum lui-même, et du scénariste hollywoodien Alex Garland.
Well, the story is you find a young Dante who's kind of living off the grid, and he's discovered by his brother Virgil. And Dante's been living sort of hand to mouth. He's aware of demons and has had to fight many of them in his past, but he's not really aware of this whole structure and mechanism of control that the demons have. And Virgil does, and he has an organization that wants to fight that. So he knows that in Dante he has sort of the secret weapon to allow him to turn the battle in his favor, so he recruits them. As far as the gameplay goes, at least as it relates to combat, it's very recognizably DmC, so you'll have, many combos, you'll have some attacks. We've made some cool changes this time. We sort of streamlined the fighting style system into the angel or demon conceit, which is part of his background. We also allow you to do things like switch weapons seamlessly so that you can flip through your weapons, which allows you to make all kinds of combos just by sort of riffing on the available combos and weapons that we give you.
Afin d'obtenir le système de combat désiré, le staff occidental aurait passé 1 semaine par mois au Japon pendant tout le cycle de production pour l'ajuster et profiter des connaissances acquises par Capcom. Mais le plus important fut d'abord de conserver l'essence de la série et en particulier la dimension aérienne flashy des bagarres.
If you talk to the Capcom Japan staff, people who basically helped co-develop the battle system, they'll tell you that primarily what you need is stylish action. So Dante has to do cool things, he has to look cool doing them, they need to be, over the top and showy and reflect that part of his character and his personality, that sort of stylish joie de vivre, if you will. As far as things that are new, you did point out that there has been aerial stuff in the past, but this time we've kind of doubled down on it. So with the angel and demon ability to both pull yourself to things and lift things to you, say Dante can jump in the air and grab a sword, he can then use the sword to pull up a ground-based enemy in the air, use that to then leap higher in the air off of that enemy, and then turn around, grab another enemy, and soon you can have 2 or 3 enemies up in the air and you can zip around them. And really, you're limited only by your own skill and ability to manipulate the mechanics to determine how long you can stay in the air.
Voilà qui est rassurant, mais on ne pouvait pas terminer cette petite interview sans aborder le tollé médiatique provoqué par la diffusion des premières images du jeu. Les fans ont hurlé au scandale en critiquant tout particulièrement le nouveau look émo de Dante.
You know what, we didn't totally change it. It's totally clear that, yeah, he has black hair instead of white hair for now. But, he's got the duster and he's got an athletic silhouette and he's still got 2 guns and a huge sword. So we believe that we maintained his essence while making some changes that were appropriate to the story we want to tell, which is about his origin, and then the world that he's in, which is a darker, maybe more literally real world, slightly less fantastical than say previous DMCs have been. So, it was about finding that balance. As far as the reaction, yeah, I think that we knew that we were asking people to take a lot of change up front. So, like as I've been saying, I think that we expected some degree of pushback. Maybe we were surprised by the duration and intensity of some of it, but I think we also felt pretty confident that once people got to play the game, that they would see that it felt and played like a DMC game, and that is what I think people were most concerned, that it wouldn't live up to that standard, which is it won't feel like one when I play it.
Ces critiques depuis se sont en effet calmées. Jouable lors du dernier E3, mais également sur ce TGS, DmC Devil May Cry s'annonce de plus en plus comme un beat'em all complet et réellement intéressant. Et quelque part, ces critiques sont également rassurantes pour Capcom, parce qu'elles prouvent que les fans sont toujours là au taquet et impatients de pouvoir jouer à un nouveau DmC.
Good. I finally have your attention.